The state of Wisconsin believes that I'm about to commit a Class 1 felony. In fact, if you plan to vote in this spring's primary election, they believe you're going to commit the same crime as well. So it's April 5th, 2016. It is primary day in Wisconsin, and this is the second time that Wisconsin residents have to show a photo ID in order to vote. And there's a problem with that process that I'll walk you through when we get over to the polling station. So I'm kind of excited for this. This will be kind of fun, and I think it'll prove a really, really great point about a problem that there is with having to show photo ID to exercise our constitutional right to vote.
So let me ask you as we drive over there, if you don't mind.
Sure. Car shot again.
I like the car shot. So what do you think, what are you facing here? What's going to be the response? Is there going to be any tension? Are you nervous?
No, I'm not nervous at all. I think probably a lot of people when they voted today, well, how did you feel when they asked you for your ID? I mean, you know who you are, and you're not lying when you say that you are who you say that you are, but yet you still have to prove it, and that's wrong. It flies in the face of 200 years of judicial process and due process that we're all entitled to under the 5th and 14th Amendments to the Constitution. So we shouldn't have to prove who we are in order to cast a vote. The state has to prove that we're not who we say we are in order to exclude my vote from counting. And that's my argument. So in Wisconsin, it is against the law to impersonate someone else while you're voting. It's called voter impersonation, and it's a Class 1 felony, and it should be because it's illegal. It violates all the tenets of one person, one vote. But one of the key pieces of this is that the state is assuming when they ask for our ID that we're not who we say that we are. There is over 200 years of judicial precedence that says that if the state assumes or infers that we're committing a crime, the burden of proof is on them to prove the elements of that crime. Well, in this case, the crime is voter fraud, voter impersonation. The only way that I can prove that I am who I say that I am is by showing a photo ID. So by showing a photo ID, essentially I'm proving that I'm not committing a felony. And the state actually has the burden of proof in that case. The state has a responsibility to prove that I'm not who I say that I am. I don't have a responsibility to prove that I am who I say that I am. I'm a well-known person in the community. My face is on public television several times a week. My voice is on public radio. I'm on the front cover of Insight magazine this month. I am a lifelong Wisconsin resident. I live here in Appleton in this district, and so I'm legally allowed to vote in this race, and I am who I say that I am. It's not up to me to prove that I am. It's up to the state to prove that I'm not who I say that I am. Get it? The Fifth Amendment of the U.S. Constitution says to the federal government that no one shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. The 14th Amendment says the same thing, but it describes that in obligation to all the states, including the state of Wisconsin. And the presumption of innocence is a key part of Western law. It's the principle that says that one is considered innocent unless proven guilty. So here's an example. Imagine that a body were found in the middle of your city block, and that the state said that everyone who lives on that block had to prove that they weren't the one who committed the crime or they'd be punished. And they have to prove it by 4 p.m. on Friday afternoon. Or imagine that every time you went shopping, you would have to prove to the storekeepers that you weren't shoplifting. Or imagine that every time you got into your car, you had to prove to the state that you weren't committing a crime of speeding or blowing through a traffic light, for example. That would be ridiculous. And you can imagine what a problem this would be if we all had to report to the police the crimes that we didn't commit over the course of any given day.
What's your emergency?
Hi, I'd like to report all the crimes I did not commit today. It might take a while. Yeah, I can hold. So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to go in. I'm going to state my name, my address, but I'm going to refuse to show a photo ID. And when I do, they're going to inform me that I can't cast a regular ballot and that I'll have to cast a provisional ballot. Now, that provisional ballot will only be valid if I can prove by 4:00 p.m. Friday afternoon that I am who I say that I am. But my argument is that, again, the burden falls to the state to prove that I'm not who I say that I am, because in a criminal case, the burden of proof is on the state, not on me. So here goes. I'm going to go in, and then I'll let you know how it goes. I'll come back out, and maybe I'll let you know what I find out. So it is a felony to disrupt a polling place, so I didn't think it'd be a good idea for me to go in and film inside, but I did wear a microphone, and here's what happened.
Thank you.
Hi,
Right over there.
Mark Scheffler from District 2, SCH.
With you by chance?
Actually, I've chosen not to show you a photo ID, so I'd like to cast a provisional ballot. I can cast a provisional ballot.
Brenda?
Yeah, let her do it. I don't know how that works.
Okay, but you can find me in the book.
How do you spell your last name?
Scheffler, Scheffler.
Mark?
Yep, 522 East Pacific Street.
I looked it up. I'm going to ask for
Yeah, I don't mean to cause trouble, but
All right.
So, but I mean, yeah.
Brenda?
So,
Mark wants to vote, but he doesn't want to show his ID.
Doesn't want to show his ID. Okay. I can let you vote today, but you will have to show your ID downtown by 5 o'clock on Friday in order for your vote to be counted.
4 o'clock on Friday.
4 o'clock on Friday, I'm sorry. Is that what you choose to do?
That's what I choose to do.
I need your signature.
Okay.
We're going to write provisional.
are you north or south of Wisconsin Avenue?
Oh, you are unable or unwilling?
Yep.
Okay. So this is your instruction sheet.
Okay.
And this is going to be provisional vote number 1.
I'm the first one.
Yeah, first one ever in 8 years to do provisional that I know of.
Well, in 2 votes, because that's all that we've had to do for voter ID.
Oh, but I mean, I've never had to do a provisional before.
Okay. This will be fun.
That's fine. Oh, that's. And you will have to fill out the rest.
Okay. Okay, and again, this ballot will not count if I can't prove by 4 o'clock on Friday that I am who I say I am, correct?
It'll be treated like a late absentee that'll be held for proof.
Yeah, it won't be counted at all, will
Be
it?
counted. No, it's going to go in this envelope. It's going to be sealed in this big blue bag with a special serial number and everything to make sure it hasn't been popped open and so on.
Tampered with, okay?
Tampered with. So you must show your driver's license, a photo ID.
Yep, and I'm at the right place, so.
Yep, you're in the right place. Yeah, you're in our book. We know that.
Yep, I'm a registered voter, U.S. citizen.
And in dated.
Yes, you're in the
Okay, you're gonna vote right here.
Okay.
Yes, it has to come to me.
Okay, I'll come back to you then. Fold it just like how many times? Just so it fits,
Yeah, just so it.
and then it'll be run through a machine if I can meet the deadline of 4 o'clock.
Right. It'll probably be hand tallied at that point.
Mm-hmm.
Ma'am?
I will lock it up and
Thank
it
you.
will be delivered.
We'll see if it works. Thanks. So I was the first person in 8 years to request a provisional ballot, which is kind of mind-blowing. The woman was very, very nice. The guy, when I went up and I said, I'm not going to show my ID, they said, well, then you can't vote. And I said, no, I can vote, but I'll have a provisional ballot. And the woman came up to me and said, okay, then you have to prove by 5 o'clock on Friday that you are you have to show your ID by 5 o'clock on Friday. And I corrected her, it's actually 4 o'clock on Friday, so she actually gave me the wrong information. So if I would have waited till 5 o'clock, then I would have been disenfranchised anyway. So we'll see how it goes. But one guy, like you said, you saw, asked me why I wasn't going to cast a regular ballot, and this is exactly why. So it could be a good constitutional challenge. It's democracy in action.